Hi, my name is Richard Meeus. I'm the Director of Security Technology and Strategy here at Akamai. And Akamai is a company that powers and protects life online.
I'm Nick Godfrey. I'm Senior Director and Global Head of the Office of the CISO at Google Cloud. My team, which is the Office of the CISO at Google Cloud, is responsible for working with our customers to help them adopt cloud safely and securely. We don't think of that as a risk necessarily to manage. We actually think the adoption of cloud is an opportunity to rethink certain approaches to security.
Akamai powers and protects life online. We do this for billions of people, trillions of times a day, and we do this through our global network that we built up 25 years ago. And this allows us to deliver content. It allows us to provide the most distributed cloud network in the world, allowing us to protect organizations from threats wherever they are to organizations wherever they may be.
I think it's a case of getting the balance right. I think there is a tendency for cybersecurity to be translated as an approach to locking things down and to controls and to restrictions. And of course, there is a part of cybersecurity that is that it is necessary. And Google Cloud obviously is very committed to providing the right controls to customers. We are the only cloud provider that allows customers to deny all access to their data. But I think when you look at a good example of a cybersecurity program, it's about achieving balance. It's a risk management exercise at the end of the day.
Well, there are a myriad of threats that we're seeing around the world at the moment. They can be from geopolitical risk, or they can be for organizations trying to be compromised by ransomware, for criminals wanting to make a buck. And what we want to be able to try and do is help these organizations stay online, make them as resilient as possible so that they can deflect the DDoS attacks that you would get from political activists, to making sure that their assets aren't compromised by criminals trying to extort them with ransomware.
I think absolutely, when we focus on future technologies and future threats, one of the things that as an industry and public and private sector collaboration we need to achieve is more emphasis on secure by design. I think security by design is incredibly important as we continually address the emerging threats and the speed at which threats change. It's the concept of embedding security into technology at a lower level rather than addressing security as an afterthought or a bolt-on activity.
So we're always looking for where the new threats are coming from. We're always looking at how we can improve, build, and make our platform better to ensure that organizations are going to be protected. This means looking at all the new technologies that are coming out. AI is being seen as the biggest threat, but it's also seen by Akamai, for example, as being a great enabler. It allows us to look at the huge amounts of data that we see on a daily basis and process it and analyze it in far better ways than we were previously able to do.
We increasingly need to focus on secure by design and other principles to embed security into infrastructure. We need to focus on modernizing our infrastructure so that we're not building security on top of foundations of sand. And that requires quite a significant series of investments and focus between the CISO and the CIO and building a common understanding of what we're trying to achieve. And actually, they both want the same outcomes. They both want fast, agile, innovative infrastructure that's secure and resilient. And it's a case of building what that North Star is between the CISO and the CIO and figuring out how to go in and build those things over a number of years.
So Akamai has a global distributed platform that operates in just about every single country in the world. And this allows us to not only see a lot of the good traffic, but a lot of the bad traffic. And what we can do with that is allows us to sit in front of organizations and transparently protect them from a multitude of different types of attacks, from the geopolitical DDoS attacks to the hacking attacks to the ransomware attacks. And it allows us to do this in a way that allows businesses to succeed. So it's not hampering their business, it's not slowing their user interaction down or their consumer interaction down, but enabling them to do business and enables them to do business going forward into the future.
So the adoption of cloud is that opportunity to fundamentally change your approach to technology, and in so doing fundamentally change your approach to building security in, so that we're more reliant on that and less reliant on bolting it on.
Absolutely. Akamai is looking forward to having these conversations because we know that we have been, for the last 25 years, working on driving up our capacity, but driving down our emissions. And this has always been a core focus of the business, and we have a very strong pedigree within that estate.
So Google has done a number of different initiatives, including Cyversity, to focus on how do we improve access to the cyber domain, the cyber careers in diverse populations. And we think this is really, really important, not only because it is a sort of moral imperative for us to do these things, but actually cyber is a really complex series of risks to manage. And the more that we can introduce diversity and diverse thinking into how we manage those risks, the more likely we are to have, good outcomes.
I think AI has been used, and we've been using AI at Akamai for many, many years. I think the new aspects of Gen AI gives us better opportunities for looking at protection because it allows us to analyze data in better ways. The ability of AI to summarize data at scale is really important, especially when you're looking at the terabytes and petabytes of data that Akamai sees on a daily basis. It gives us a great opportunity to really understand attacker motivations and their ways of operating.
So if the focus historically has been on improving supply of cybersecurity professionals into the market, we can also focus, I think, on the demand side of that equation a little bit, by which I mean, how do we understand the toil associated with certain cybersecurity roles and jobs? How do we use technology and automation and potentially AI to reduce the toil and the manual labor associated with certain cybersecurity roles and positions? Because I think that will have the double effect of improving the efficiency of any one person in the industry, but also I think it will improve the experience of certain roles and certain positions in cybersecurity teams, and so improve the longevity and the retention of talent within our industry.
Well, I think one of the things that we're getting to see recently is that in the cybersecurity industry, we've always been a bit reticent to share information. So anything that we can do to foster better collaboration, better transparency is only going to be better for the industry as a whole. It's going to allow organizations to protect their estates in a far more comprehensive manner than was previously seen before. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that information and seeing how we can foster better methods of interaction and sharing.
Well, I think there's a number of different areas in which Google Cloud hopes to partner and collaborate at CyberUK. Clearly, cyber is a complex problem that is not solved or solvable by any one organization or any one country or any one government. It genuinely is a team sport, and we need to get industry and public sector together to collaborate, to share. I think the UK has got a very strong track record of doing that public-private collaboration around this problem. I think CyberUK is a great example of how we continue to do that. I think at CyberUK in Birmingham, there are a number of things I'd like to get out of it. I think it's important that Google shares its opinions and its thoughts in this space. We recognise our responsibility. I'm very encouraged by the focus on cyber startups. I'm looking forward to engaging with those startups. those startups ultimately are, the solutions of the future for the UK and beyond. So I'm very focused on that as well.
Akamai is really looking forward to sharing the solutions that we have and talking to the international and national organizations that are going to be there and helping them to understand not only the current risks that we're seeing by virtue of having that huge platform, but also to make them aware of the current threats that are very prevalent in their particular industry and their particular vertical, and showing them the industry best practices of how to address those threats.
As the geopolitical landscape evolves and shifts, as new threats emerge, as new technologies emerge, all of these things change how we think and operate and use technology as individuals, as enterprises, as governments, as society as a whole. CyberUK is a great opportunity to bring together the community to think through these challenges, and Google feels a significant responsibility for being part of that conversation, so we're very excited to join CyberUK.